In this video, we'll talk about the glycogen storage disorder. Glycogen storage disorder occurs due to defect in the enzymes which are associated with the glycogen metabolism. There are at least 13 of these glycogen storage disorder. All these 13 glycogen storage disorders are named as like type 0, type 1, type 1b, type 3, etc. Before we learn about these diseases in bit more details, we should understand the biochemistry and the pathology of this particular disease. Now, in glycogen storage disorder, all the enzymes which are associated with glycogen metabolism has some kind of problems. This is the glycogen metabolism pathway, and generally the enzymes are defective. Since these enzymes are abundant in muscle and liver, so the most affected organs in these kind of disorder is the liver and the muscle. Now let's talk about the causes of GSD or glycogen storage disorder. So there are several enzymes which augment the synthesis of glycogen or breakdown of glycogen. So the breakdown of glycogen is catalyzed by enzymes like debranching enzyme, glycogen phosphorylase, phosphoglucomutase, glucose 6 phosphatase. And in these glycogen storage disorder, these enzymes are defective. For example, glucose 6 phosphatase is defective in von Gehrig's disease. Then in McArdle and Hers disease, glycogen phosphorylase is defective. Debranching enzyme is defective in Cori's disease. Anyway, we can broadly understand the overall metabolism of glycogen is messed up. So in order to understand the disease pathology, we have to understand the biochemistry of glycogen metabolism first. Glycogen is a fixed deposit of glucose. Like you keep fixed deposit of your money in the bank, in our body, glucose is stored as glycogen. So glucose gets converted to glycogen by a process known as glycogenesis, and whenever it is required, glycogen gets broken down to produce glucose, and this is known as glycogenolysis. Processes like glycogenolysis is super important in the context of starving, fasting, or let's say when our body needs a huge amount of energy. In that case, glycogen which is stored in liver or muscle would be broken down, and that glycogen can produce glucose, which would be fueling our brain or other organs to function. Now, glycogen metabolism has two parts, broadly making of the glycogen and breaking of the glycogen. The glycogen synthesis is known as glycogenesis. So glucose is the raw material from where the glycogen is synthesized. So from glucose, there would be conversion into glucose 6 phosphate with the help of the enzyme hexokinase. And these glucose 6 phosphate can ultimately generate pyruvate, and in this process ATP would be generated. But imagine a situation when you have a lot of ATP. In that case, your body can actually use these glucose 6 phosphate to produce glycogen. So glucose 6 phosphate in that condition would be converted into glucose 1 phosphate, which would be further converted into UDP glucose and incorporated into a glycogen chain. So this is how glycogen synthesis takes place. So overall, this process is known as glycogenesis, and glycogenesis occurs when glucose level in our body is high, like when we are well fed and had a nice sugary meal. So glycogen is generally stored in muscle or in the liver majorly, and there are particular protein known as glycogenin which helps in the polymerization of this glycogen. Anyway, so there are hormonal regulation of glycogen synthesis. For example, glycogen synthase is the key enzyme in this process. Now there are several kinase and phosphatase enzymes can act like switch. So in a phosphorylated version, glycogen synthase is inactive. In a dephosphorylated state, it is active. So kinase enzyme would inactive the process and phosphatase enzyme would active the process. So insulin augments the phosphatase enzyme, thereby activating glycogen production. Whereas glucagon or epinephrine inhibit this process. Glucagon activates kinase moreover, and thereby preventing the glycogen synthesis and increase glucose levels. Anyway, there are complex hormonal regulation. Now, glycogen breakdown happens via stepwise manner. So, in the glycogen breakdown process, there would be glucose generation in muscle and liver, which could be used for generation of ATP. Ultimately, it would be broken down into glucose 6-phosphate. That broken down glucose 6-phosphate can be channeled into glycolysis pathway to generate ATP whenever it is necessary. And this process is known as glycogenolysis. In starved state or in conditions of high energy demand, this is predominant process. Now, glycogen phosphorylase would kind of like chop off specific residues from the sides of these glycogen chain. And whenever it encounters a branch point, then it is replaced with a debranching enzyme, and the debranching enzyme cleave off the branch point, and especially it cleaves off that alpha 1,6 glycosidic linkage, and then debranching enzyme disengage. Further, glycogen phosphorylase can chop off linear branches. Ultimately, glucose 1-phosphate is released due to this debranching procedure. Anyway, phosphoglucomutase then converts this glucose 1-phosphate in a sequential fashion to glucose 6-phosphate. Now, glucose 6-phosphate is now broken down into glucose by the enzyme called glucose 6-phosphatase. Now, let's talk about the classification of glycogen storage disorder. Glycogen storage disorder can be classified into several groups like type 0 or Lewis disease, type 1 von Gierke disease, type 1b, type 2 which is known as Pompe's disease, type 3 Forbes and Cori disease, type 4 Anderson's disease, type 5, type 6, and many other types as well. Now, beyond all these classifications and everything, what we should see and notice that in all these cases, the organs which are highly affected are liver and muscle. And that's pretty much expected because glycogen metabolism is happening in the liver and muscles predominantly. That's why these are the organs which are expected to be affected. Anyway, this is the overall glycogen synthesis pathway, and we are going to talk about few selected glycogen storage disorders just to get some idea that what really happens under these kind of diseases. First, we are going to talk about the von Gierke disease, which occurs due to a defect in glucose 6-phosphatase enzyme. Then we'll talk about McArdle and Hers disease, which happens due to the problem in glycogen phosphorylase enzyme. Lastly, we'll talk about Cori's disease, which is a problem due to the debranching enzyme. Now, let's talk about the von Gierke's disease at the first place. This is known as type 1 glycogen storage disorder. In this case, glucose 6-phosphatase enzyme, which converts glucose 6-phosphate into glucose, is actually not functional due to some kind of mutations which is inherited. In this case, the baby shows symptom as early as the age of 3 to 4. So during infancy, the symptoms are pretty visible. And the organs that are affected are liver, kidney, and muscles. Sometimes intestines are also affected. Affected infants very often show very low blood sugar levels, and sometimes that lead to seizures. So overall, these kind of babies show enlargement of the liver known as hepatomegaly, enlargement of the kidney known as nephromegaly, elevated levels of lactate and uric acid in the blood. It can lead to uricemia, and also it shows elevated level of lipids and triglycerides in the body. Now let's talk about the Cori's disease, which is another type of glycogen storage disorder known as GSD3. Now in Cori's disease, it is kind of like an inherited disorder where there is a buildup of abnormal glycogen in the body. The accumulated glycogen is structurally abnormal, and overall it impairs the function of the liver and muscles, and liver and the muscles are the obvious organs which are affected. Symptoms include low blood sugar, excess amount of fat in the blood, elevated blood levels of liver enzymes, sometimes muscle weakness and hypotonia. Now Cori's disease is caused due to a problem in the debranching enzyme. Debranching enzyme chops off the branch point of glycogens. So where there is a alpha 1,6 glycosidic linkage, it is taken care of by the debranching enzyme. In absence of debranching enzyme, there is a faulty branching in the glycogen which leads to an abnormal glycogen formation. So the first sign of these kind of disease is basically very poor muscle tone or hypotonia. Eventually, there could be problems in cardiac muscle as well, so there could be cardiomyopathy. Now, glycogen phosphorylase enzyme generally chops off all the linear branches of the glycogen and releases glucose 1-phosphate. So, in McArdle disease and Hers disease, this particular enzyme, glycogen phosphorylase, is affected. So in McArdle disease, muscle is affected the most, and in Hers disease, the liver or the hepatocytes are affected. In Hers disease, the signs and symptom begins from the infancy to early childhood. So there is hepatomegaly, there is increase in ketone bodies and low blood sugar, and there is also increase in fat levels. There is also a slower growth rate, mild delay in motor coordination. The baby learn several motor skills like dancing, sitting, walking, etc. in a lower pace. So there is overall problems. Now, in this video, what we have learned, if we just summarize, that we learned glycogen storage disorder occurs due to the problem in glycogen metabolism and glycogen breakdown especially, and several enzymes involved in this pathway can be affected, and they are classified into different subcategories, and they have different symptoms, though these symptoms varies from one to another, but there is a overarching similarity between all of these symptoms, that is hepatomegaly, and there is myopathy. That means the muscles and the livers are the most affected organs because they are actively taking part in glycogen breakdown or glycogen metabolism. Overall, we see that all of these diseases are actually occurring from early in the infancy. So I hope this was informative and it was a nice summary. If you want to get more notes and flashcards, you can follow me on Facebook page. You can also follow my Instagram channel. Links are provided in the description. In my Instagram page, there are MCQ question solving on a daily basis. You can follow that, participate in context, and can win exciting prizes. Right now in my second channel, which is Let's Crack Bio Exam, there is a contest, and the prize of this contest is displayed here. This is a customized coffee mug. You just need to answer the MCQ questions in a daily basis, put your answer in the comment, and like and share these posts with friends, and thereby you can win this surprise gift. Anyway, you can support my channel via Patreon or Bhim UPI, or also you can pay via the super thanks option, which is present in the bottom right corner of each video. You can contribute using Paytm, PayPal, UPI, or internet banking. Your small contribution means a lot to me. Anyway, see you in the next video. In case you want to get connected with us and you want to talk to us in social media, all the links are provided in the description. Go check them out, and don't forget to comment in the end of this video. Do let us know how you like our video, and see you in next video.